Zero knowledge proofs and LensProtocol. How many people familiar with LensProtocol? Anybody used it? Awesome. Yeah, we got some users. For the people in the room who haven't used it, it's basically a social network on-chain. All your posts go on-chain, not the entire post, but a content addressable hash. You get to index that, but the social graph itself, who you follow, your profile is an NFT, who you follow can be like mapped out on-chain, and that allows anybody to build an app on top of Lens, use the social graph, the existing social graph. Imagine if you're building like a social app, you don't want to like start from scratch and get people to like follow their friends again. So you build an app here, you get that out of the box. With zero knowledge, what are we trying to solve here? Like exactly the problem. The issue is to prove like an asset, to prove that you hold a My Lady NFT, for example, you do have to like share some information, like where is the address you're holding that on, and maybe sign a challenge to show that you hold ownership, right? Doing that and holding an asset on the same key where you hold the social profile and it's public, it gets everybody to like leak that information. Everybody knows that that information would be like public and people can track other assets that you have, right? One wrong signature and you could get tracked. We know NFTs, this happens all the time. And of course, Web 2.0 data isn't bridged. There are a few solutions. I think Reclaim Protocol, a few other solutions. I think Gelato as well. They would bridge that data to on-chain, but we don't have like a native sort of integration. What does ZK3 allow you to do? It allows you to signal membership of a group without exposing any more information than that. So holder of an NFT, having access to an account with 10 ETH, 100 ETH, having access to a Rava ticket on Eventbrite in a Web 2.0 fashion. All of that can be signaled. You can generate ZK proofs of that on-chain and off-chain. And you can use these proofs in Lens, since all the posts go on-chain. You can use the verify proof as a mechanism that will allow you to moderate a conversation. So let's say you have, you want to collect reviews on a party you threw for like, let's say, Developer DAO. You could say only holders of Developer DAO NFT can comment on this post. And when their comment is going on chain, it basically goes through and the ZK proof is verified. If it's valid, it will go on chain and get minted. If not, it will be reverted and that post will never show up. And that way you can reduce spam and allow to token gated basically using ZK proofs. Obviously it's open source, it's natively integrated with Lens. We'll go through like a bit of detail on that. So the components, it's based on semaphores, which is a ZK Snark setup by the Privacy and Scaling Ethereum, the Ethereum Foundation. They're one of the projects supported by them. We basically, like our entire setup is an extension of their system. They built the ZK circuit. They built the generic like Merkle tree that we use. And we use that as a way to verify, use their verifier and their trusted setup to do our ZK proofs. There is a Lens reference module. Lens has this plugin idea where in order to reference a piece of content, you can like add an arbitrary contract, and that contract in our case will verify the proof. And all the other, all the content based on top of that, like the comments or the retweets or mirrors as we call it, will have to reference the same module, which enforces the ZK validity. Obviously, there is also a ZK witness, and that's the coordinator. And this is like a trusted part of the setup currently. This could be later split up into like a decentralized setup, the same way you do like staking, basically. And these different players will be able to validate your eligibility to get on chain in some group if the data is not on chain already, and keep that information off chain so it keeps you safe. Okay, so semaphore circuit. This is basically the circuit. I don't want to like bore you guys with the details, but it basically allows you to generate deterministic identities 2 parts of that identity is private, and 1 part that is the commitment that goes on chain, that is the public part. So you don't really expose anything more than that. And these are deterministically created by using your EOA. So if you have a key, if you basically have a new laptop, you add your key, you get back your ZK identity immediately. Obviously, there is, like you see, the external nullifier that allows us to prevent double spends. If you want to make sure people comment only once, or if it's a voting setup, if you're creating like a poll, you want to make sure it's 1 vote only or 1 comment only, and this is also allowed. Lens, I've already went through that. As I said, it's a composable social graph. We already have a bunch of partners. We have more than 50 apps running. All of these apps control their own users, but they still share the users. So if you have Orb and Lenster in the same time, for example, you would have the same followers, but you would have a different experience, right? Because you share the same graph. Okay, so we have this concept is called circles, which is the ZK groups on chain. Think of it as a Merkle, not think of it, it is actually a Merkle tree of a bunch of ZK identities. As you can see on the side here, this is a basic content of that circle. It tells you a bit of like, that's the only thing about the members that is shown. So these are the ZK commitment, the public part of their ZK identity. As you can see, there is no other information that is really useful beside, yeah, you gotta have at least 2 Matic to enter that group. And that's also, you can see the coordinator here. And this is the trusted member in this group, or the group coordinator, basically, who's allowed to revoke people if the group coordinator can generate a proof that you no longer meet the, let's say, the quota of 2 Matic, right, on your private account. They can submit that and basically revoke your access from the group. Later, we will have like some kind of staking system. People would be slashed, people get rewarded, yada, yada. Perpetual proofs. So the moment you mint a proof, it's not checked after that. We came up with the idea of perpetual proofs, which basically allows the ZK witness, as I said, to keep checking that proof. And if it's invalid at some point, they can submit a proof that invalidates another one. So basically, they will take you out of that group, and you can no longer generate new proofs. So let's say you go into the 10 ETH club from a cold storage, and you use that proof on your social account. Nobody knows where you hold the EOA except the coordinator. If you drop more than 10 ETH, if you start spending money, and now you're in the 9 ETH club, guess what? You can no longer use that on new posts. And it could show that, and that would allow you to have, we call it perpetual. Obviously, it's counterfactual perpetual. It's a pain, yes, but it gets the job done. We're still experimenting with this. Obviously, it's not fully decentralized. Here's the caveat, right? The coordinator sees everything. You could split the coordinator into a checker and a verifier and a witness, and that would make it a bit easier. But right now, to be honest, just one piece. Basic flow. So a Web 3.0 flow of generating a proof would be, you want to create a balance of proof, for example. The witness checks on chain, makes sure it's good. It attests that information, adds you to an on-chain circle, and you get back a transaction hash of that proof, of that membership. And after that, you can generate your proofs with a signal that you are a member of the 2 ETH club, for example. Okay, Web 2.0 proofs. As I said, you can use this with APIs. Or like any basically TLS protocol that you can access, open authentication. The witness will connect and verifies whatever you're trying to attest. It will double sign it, so you would have your signature and the witness who verified you. If another witness can verify that this is not true, everybody will be slashed. But again, this is still a work in progress. Web 2.0 flow, same as Web 3.0, but there is an API because data is not on chain. Structs, yeah. So this is basically all the information that goes on chain. All these circles just have a coordinator that is allowed to revoke people or submit revokes. The content URI, if it's double spendable, and nullifier hash. And as you can see on the right here, you can see that you could allow people to comment on your stuff even if they don't have proof, if you want to like farm engagement, which is really good in Lens. Do farm engagement. Yeah, how to join circles. Basically, you would choose the kind of circle you want. You would set up the amount. Let's say I have 10 Matic. I want to show like a proof of 5. It will tell you the requirement. One click, basically, it will go through. If it's on chain, again, you're already connected via that account. We will see that. We have a proofs explorer that can look at all the groups and will show you like your identity, the stuff you're connected to, and it looks NFT-ish for, again, farming engagement. And this is how the proof would look later, but let me show you. This is our current integration, so you can do these proofs. This default is just for testing, but still, we do cool shit with that. We don't know anybody with this yet, so if you are, yeah, do let us know. We are looking for money, but yeah. Demo, I think we can play the video. I didn't know if I'm gonna have a connection, so I can just, so you connect, as you can see. This is a demo of generating a proof from an existing circle. So if you can see here, I will generate the identity, you sign a message. It already picked up that I have already created proofs. So this is the 2 Matic circle. We'll clean up the metadata, obviously. So you can signal this. Twitter account. What did I write? Okay. I should have shown the console log. There is like a million things happening on the background. It generates the Merkle tree. It puts that Merkle tree, but it will show you on chain later. It gets that on chain. Yeah, I just want to show the post. As you can see here, the post doesn't show like any differently from a normal Lens post right here. Just hello Lens from whatever. But we have an addition where it's looking for the ZK proofs that are embedded. And if we look for that post, if I can parse this, as you can see here, it shows the circle ID, and it shows like this user actually connected their Twitter account, and they show proof of Twitter. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's it for me. Just wanted to, if you guys are interested, you can actually try it out. It's live on Mumbai. You can scan this one, go to the app. If you want to follow me on Twitter, here you go. Same thing on Lens. Very happy to answer your questions. If I also work for Lens, so I do both. If you are integrating anything on top of Lens, you need help, let me know, and I'm happy to answer all your questions after this. Thank you.